This is the Business Breakfast on the UAE's #1 talk radio station.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Right, for all those that have been checking their Insta feeds recently, or their Insta profiles, you might have noticed something a little bit different recently. Why? Instagram now asking users to declare if their post has been made with or without enhanced, or with or enhanced by AI. There is even a little tab on the screen for you asking said question. To tell us what this is all about, we are joined now by the CEO of creative content agency, Raj Kotecha, who's also the course director at the Chartered Institute of Marketing, where he trains Fortune 500 companies on AI-enabled content production. Raj, always good to catch up with you. Welcome.
Always lovely to see you.
So, here we have this new little feature on the gram. What's it mean? And what's it mean more specifically for the future of business?
So since AI has built momentum in the last 18 months, one of the parts of AI that is doing extremely well and has been adopted quite quickly by consumers is what's known as generative AI. Effectively, this means that you write a prompt into an AI service and you can generate text and images, videos, and even audio. This means that you're not necessarily reliant on producing content that you've captured on your phone from the real world. It's something that can come purely from your imagination, and it can then be turned into a piece of content. That piece of content, of course, then can be published onto a content platform like Instagram, and it raises the question, is this content real and from the real world, or is it from the imagination and generated by AI?
That's interesting, because obviously, you know, I think of the blue ticks of recent discussions, etc., and this striving for authenticity or accreditation, if you like. Credibility is the word we're looking for here. Is this another step towards that as well, albeit a credibility away from generated content as opposed to creative content?
I think what Instagram is doing by asking people to declare if the content is made by or enhanced by AI is it's actually giving its users an opportunity to say, hey, listen, this has been involved in the process. Now, on the spectrum, there are many things that are considered AI. It could be something as simple as removing somebody from the background of a holiday picture. You know, we've all been photobombed when we're taking that one pristine picture on holiday, and we think it would be slightly better if we were able to just cut that person out. That's considered AI, as well as completely coming up with something from your imagination, like a cat on a skateboard. Now, these are obviously all fun things or things that we can use in the real world, but of course there could be more nefarious actors that could create things to, you know, perhaps spread fake news. And what Instagram is trying to do is get ahead of that and make sure that the kind of content that goes on its platforms is both truthful and authentic and not misleading for its users.
Listen, there isn't a day, let alone a week, that goes past without another AI-generated headline out there at the moment. There's been a week of AI focus here in the UAE. We've had the announcement of 22 chief AI officers by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan a little earlier on this week as part of a new initiative. Your reaction to that?
Wonderful. The reason why I think it's an exceptional move by His Highness is that firstly, not only has the UAE been extremely proactive in developing a ministry for AI, we're talking about 2017, way before AI became a mainstream conversation like it is today, but specifically around the move of having 22 chief AI officers, you have to think about it like a highway. AI is like a platform technology like the internet. So if we had one person in charge of the internet in the UAE, that would surely not be enough bandwidth to deal with the aspects of society that the internet affects. Well, AI is as big as that. And so AI is going to enhance the quality of life, which of course has always been the focus for the UAE to make sure that the quality of life for residents is exceptionally high. But we're talking about infrastructure, schooling, education, electricity, water. And so to have 22 AI officers means that we effectively have a 22-lane highway, which is going to allow us to have more throughput around the conversation around policy and also bringing the world's best AI actors, developers, and community and companies to the UAE to participate, because there's not a single tech company in the world that doesn't have Dubai as a city and as a society on its kind of like wish list in terms of where it wants to roll out.
Couldn't have come at a better time as well, could it? The same week, almost the same day that Apple released their Apple Intelligence. A little bit surprised that it's taken Apple this long to join the race?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because Apple was not the first person to put out a portable media player, but they kind of galvanized it with the iPod. They were not the first people to put out tablets. They were not the first people to launch a music service. What Apple tends to do quite well is it tends to put the consumer right at the middle of its story. Apple, if nothing else, is a storytelling brand. And now what it's going to do is validate and legitimize AI. They've obviously done it in a very Apple way by calling it Apple Intelligence, but they've also captured the attention of the kind of core AI community by partnering with ChatGPT, which has already a tremendous amount of credibility and is the front-running brand. ChatGPT, you could argue, is the Apple of the AI world.
Just finally, and I mentioned at the beginning that, training Fortune 500 companies and CEOs within those companies on AI-enabled content production as part of your course for the Chartered Institute of Marketing. What's the common theme there? What's the biggest concern amongst CEOs and big companies at the moment when it comes to AI moving forward?
Well, AI, like I said, can go from anything that comes from your imagination. I think what the biggest priority right now for companies is putting out what I'm calling undeniable social proof, or USP, right? There are a million things that you could create, and AI has certainly increased the amount of things that you could create. I think what we're seeing now is a shift back towards the middle, towards authentic content. So the biggest ROI that I'm seeing these companies that I consult get comes from the basics nowadays. So testimonials, case studies, putting the attention right back on the kind of stuff that helps businesses convert. And I think the same way that we've gone from an era of like vinyl to tapes to CDs to MP3s, but now when you go to a vinyl bar, it's considered more authentic. Although we can do tremendous things when it comes to AI produced content, going back to those kind of like core media formats, even if it's behind the scenes content of your business, that's the kind of stuff that's doing really well.
Raj, good to see that you're doing really well as well, both professionally and personally. Congratulations to you and all. Raj Kotecha, great to have you here in Dubai. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Real pleasure to be here.
A big thanks to Raj for joining us live here in the studio. Do keep your thoughts coming through to us. You can text us on 400. Oh, Deanie's taking a selfie, everyone. Deanie, it's a selfie moment for Deanie and Raj. It's all happening. This is the Business Breakfast.
The latest headlines and the biggest stories from here at home and around the globe.
The ARN News Centre app never sleeps. Download it for free now on the App Store and Google Play.
This is the Business Breakfast with Richard Dean and Tom Urquhart.
On the UAE's #1 talk radio station, Dubai Eye 103.8.